Do you remember the days when you stopped work at 11 o'clock and you had a cup of tea? It doesn't happen anymore. You don't have a tea lady coming round at work. You don't. I mean, who abolished the tea ladies? They were a legend in their own elevenses.
We'll be working with some of media's hotshots.
Media characters of old have been recommissioned by the BBC to come down here today and talk to some of these hardened terrorists. We're wondering if you had any words to say to them to reassure them that it's not as scary as you might think. No?
Yeah.
Excuse me, sir, do you have any words for Sooty and Sweep to reassure them?
It seems that they're just having a party here and there's no riot. I haven't seen any aggression or anything like that, so things are cool. It's okay, don't worry, boys, don't worry.
I think they needed to.
The other question on their mind is, if they become vegetarian, does it make them terrorists?
The world financial system, climate chaos, it's in meltdown. There is no problem in the world that cannot be improved with a cup of tea and a slice of cake.
Top dogs and veterinarian answers, Sooty and Sweep. We've asked Sooty and Sweep to join us here today because of the terror involved in this media event. We were hoping if we had some BBC big names, we'd be able to maybe calm down the situation and communicate with the terrorists today. We're going to ask them to go in. They are protected. They are being fully watched by the police cameras, and we have £7.5 million worth of protection with us today. So good luck, Sooty. Good luck, Sweep. All the best for this beginning of a very scary and very intense, very terrorist-filled G80. G20.
So tomorrow will you be part of the G20 meltdown? It's the G20 meltdown. Okay. Can we expect anything to recompose this crisis?
Well, we've just come down to set the tone. This is a very English revolution, and there's no problem in the world that cannot be improved with a cup of tea and some cake.
Sing, dance, be merry.
Have a party, talk about the issues, take part in the parades and get your voice heard. And be proactive. These are exciting times to be living in.
What brings you down here today?
Just came down with my friend just to have a cup of tea and a few cakes.
Yes, sweet. I just came down here for 11s.
Were you surprised by the amount of police presence?
Well, considering there's like half a dozen really harmless hippies just sitting around drinking tea and eating biscuits and having 11s, and there's twice as many police, I think, it's a little bit heavy-handed. There is a bit of a human rights problem with the law, and I believe technically I am a terrorist because I don't agree with what they're trying to make me agree with,
Does that make you a terrorist?
Apparently, yeah.
Right, okay.
I'm not sure. Am I a terrorist? I'm not quite sure. What is a terrorist? I'm absolutely appalled by that, yes. It's disgusting. I agree with you, I mean, it's just greed gone crazy.
How do you feel about being labelled terrorist?
I like being labelled terrorist. I want rights for terrorists. I think that terrorists, their rights have been taken away a lot in this country, and I think that as terrorists, that I should have the same rights as everybody else.
Okay.
I don't think there are any terrorists. Or if there are, they're the people that are in the government, and they're people that are behind the government, and the people who work in there.
Comes inside you, gets behind you, takes you under its wing. Is it some kind of function, a reconstruction of where you've always been?
I think it's important for everyone to stand up for their rights because they're all being taken away from them. Gordon Brown's has given people 95 billion quid to the banks. It's taken from there and we've all got to pay it back. It's ridiculous. It's just them that like tap a few computer numbers into another bank and then that bank can lend 10 times that value because they only have to keep 10% in deposit. Right. It just goes round and round and the bankers take all the money.
But surely
and we're always in debt.
The bank is a human too, and surely they have the right to request the extra house, the extra sort of pension rights that they deserve as honourable suit-wearing citizens.
If that's what you think, maybe you should go and join them over there. Maybe you get a good job in a bank, you'd be a good recruit.
we do try to facilitate everybody as much as possible. It's very difficult to work out who is the bad guy and who isn't the bad guy.
With these great big huge banking structures comes massive corruption. The IMF goes in, says, right, we'll take over your resources, we'll annihilate your education, your health care, and then when you are left with nothing, we'll leave and you owe us. 76 billion that we spent on trying to do the same soldiers are suffering the same problems as the Iraqis: birth defects, sterility, cancer from reusing depleted uranium.
Terrorists and anarchists can be very persuasive people, and I'm a bit afraid that the longer Sooty and Sweep spend in your presence, they will become uncontrollable bringers down of the system.
They have been exhibiting anarcho-syndicalist tendencies for years. I mean, I consider them one of the greatest political influences in my life. I think that's a marvellous idea, but let's keep it a surprise because it is April Fool's after all.
You can't say anything sarcastic because it will be twisted.
Just saying, these two here actually did a press statement that they were about to eat bankers, which absolutely terrified the entire banking system. They were still almost imprisoned for saying they would like to eat a banker's brains.
Well, I think maybe there might be some dandruff on some of the bankers' scalps that they could probably pick off. It is animal derived, yeah, but no bankers would have been harmed.
Being vegetarian, meat production is, still just, producing milk, dairy products and eggs and things does almost as much damage to the environment as just meat production does. So, I mean, I'd recommend that you guys do go vegan. Take the whole step as opposed to just being vegetarian.
However, we have heard, on Saturday there were people actually giving out vegan and vegetarianism leaflets, which we believe is an act of anarchy and possibly rebellious crime. Would they be considered terrorists for turning vegetarian?
I think, one step at a time, because, it takes a while to get into veganism and vegetarianism. I don't think you should go at it all at once. Obviously, a revolutionary change of diet could be called, anarchy. So you want to be careful with these labels.
Do you expect anything from them?
I think that all the while the people don't feel they have the power to change anything and remain apathetic and sitting home watching their telly and having a moan and a drip, no, then you don't expect anything. But I think it takes so few people to affect change. What's good about activism is that we're all individual, we're all so different, and we're all coming at it from different angles. And you never know, it's just like with your life, my life, things can change on a dime, for the good, for the worse. Why can't they change for the good? So why can't we expect our G20 leaders to do right? Why can't we expect them to stop lying through their teeth, start telling the truth? But we have to demand that. We need a little bit of Malcolm X with a touch of Gandhi. Be the change you want to see, but by any means necessary, but by any peaceful means necessary.
Do you have any final words to say to the mainstream media who've been promoting this as a bloodfest? Wait a second, this as a bloodfest.
So the whole point of this movement is to fight the suffering and injustice in the world, and so to assume that we're going to cause violence is just completely absurd. And we're going to follow in the steps of Gandhi and Martin Luther King and do it by peaceful protest. And any other assumption is just ridiculous.
As you can see, things have been pretty terrifying down here today at the Bank of England. I've been talking to the police, I've been talking to the protesters, and it seems to us that the only people who are really promoting fear of this whole event is the mainstream media. We just wish everyone good luck for the rest of the week and hope that voice of reason and humanity will prevail.
Which is books, isn't it, really?
Drop your guard, get over yourself, kick your shoes to the floor and run from your cover, run to the other side of your head, and I'll stand right by you, love comes inside you, gets behind you, takes you under its wing. Is it some kind of function, a reconstruction of where you've always been? I said love comes inside you, gets behind you, takes you under.
Bring your pillows. The little policemen don't keep their truncheons in their little trouser belts. then you can put your pillow over your head